Hey everybody, what's going on? December 6th here. Finally got a decent phone to use. The old iPhone 10 was not the best phone to take video, but my GoPro took a crap early this spring. So able to get an iPhone 14 now, so I'm moving up in the world. I wanted to show you guys some stuff that I've learned here. Been doing a bunch of habitat work the last couple weeks after deer season here, and kind of got the chance now to come out, look at a lot of the trees, see how stuff's doing. I want to spin you around here and kind of show you guys some stuff I've been learning. So this is called the H. So I'm kind of out in the center of the marsh. Here's our big cattail marsh up over here, gun blind. And actually right over there by that gun blind, my dad shot a decent 8-point this year. Kind of our little kill plot there, and then as you work your way back to the marsh, to the back half, there's a little more cover back there, but basically what I've been working on non-stop the last couple years. But I got a lot of cool things I'm doing this next year. A lot of big plans, a lot of changes, a lot of trees going in the ground. Going to be converting roughly 5 acres of land to food plots, trees, and some switchgrass. But today, I'm trying to get some stuff done. Well, my dad doesn't have any pheasant hunters out here, and I wanted to show you guys something that I kind of knew, but there's some new stuff that I learned as well. So out on this H, see there's a little ditch here. So when this ditch was dug, well, it's really not a ditch, it's more of a scrape. But when they dug that, they threw the dirt up here, so it's, I don't know, it's a little bit of a rise, maybe a foot higher than that water level. And usually that water level's higher, but it was a dry year this year. But there's this little rise right here. In this whole area, there's a pond over here on the other side over there. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. But where they dug these ponds, they threw the spoil up, and it basically makes this big H. And I'm right in the dead center of the H here, if you can kind of picture it. And I came in here and I planted some white spruce. Now, I've planted white spruce in the past. Usually it's a little bit higher elevation than this, but I wanted to try it. And I was extremely happy with how it did. So a couple things about white spruce. There's a fine line between too high and too low. So I planted some over here on that side of the H right next to that water. And that's just a little bit lower, maybe 6 inches lower than where I'm standing. And I only had one survive out of maybe 10 in there. But up on this dike here, it's a little bit higher, and planted, I think, 8 of them here, and every one of them lived. And with this white spruce, what I've learned is this stuff does amazing when it comes to being shaded. So I got a little plastic bottom there that I put on these things just to try and keep the weeds off of the tree. It's basically just cut a hole in the middle, planted the tree, slid it over the top, staked it down. And these baskets, when my dad shot his buck in early November, I had to drive the 4-wheeler out here, and you couldn't even see these baskets. I mean, the canary grass is this tall. I just kind of knew where they were. I know I had to sit in the middle, so I wouldn't run them over, but you couldn't even see these baskets. And these white spruce do really, really well with being shaded. I mean, I got some over this direction over here that I don't have any baskets on. I don't have any stakes on. They're just literally out in the middle of nowhere. And they did really well. I did lose maybe 25% of them. And I think that's basically because when the canary grass went down, it just pulled them right down. And honestly, I can't even find them. But this stuff did really good here. Everything on this little bit higher rise. I mean, you can see we are in, this is a marsh. This is all canary grass out here. This white spruce did really well. One other thing I learned this year too is I planted a bunch of dawn redwood. I think I bought about 100 of them. And I got some over on that end of the marsh towards the back, and they all look great. Growth-wise, I bet you they grew about 2 feet. But the biggest problem with the dawn redwoods are the mice absolutely love it. I got 27 other baskets over here that I had planted dawn redwoods in. And these trees all grew probably close to 2 feet. I mean, some of them were 3 almost out of the baskets. I was really amazed at how fast they grew. But sometime in the last couple months, the mice had found them, and they absolutely girdled the snot out of them like little beavers. So dawn redwoods grow great in this type of environment, but unless you can keep the mice off, I strongly would disadvise you to plant them. I did plant some tamaracks back here too, and the mice seem to leave the tamaracks alone a little bit more. I don't know. I had maybe 6 or 7 tamaracks planted throughout these baskets in here, and the mice left the tamaracks alone, but they found the dawn redwoods. I'd highly doubt that it's just by chance that they didn't find the tamaracks, but they just seem to leave them alone. Another thing I learned too is if you're planting like white cedars out in an area like this, again, it's got to be a fine line. If it's too low, it's too low. But like on this high ground here, I guarantee you white cedars would do great. But the mice seem to leave the white cedars alone. Problem is with the white cedars is like over here by the food plot over there, the deer just annihilated some of my 3-4-year-old white cedars. I could take a video of that too at some time and kind of show you guys, but gonna have to kind of figure out, because I do have a bunch of white cedars down here on the 30, and figure out, I do have cages around them, and I know they'll be fine for 2, 3, 4 years. But at that point, what I'm gonna do is either I roll the dice and take them off and let them rub some, or just a little nervous because I had, I think, maybe 20-ish over here by the food plot, and they got absolutely demolished once I took the baskets off. But yeah, anyways, white spruce, real deal. A little bit higher elevation. They do well in the water, not in the water, but on this higher ground, kind of around water, and they take shade, a lot of shade, like hardly any sun all summer type shade. So yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Good to be back.